My name is Richard Branson, and we're on a mission to save the oceans.
There's something big out on the horizon.
We came from the ocean. We're all part of the same ecosystem. But humanity itself has become the ocean's biggest threat. Pollution, overfishing, extinction. We all know the problems. Now it's time for the solutions. In this series, we follow the work of Greenpeace, the Marine Stewardship Council, and the Worldwide Fund for Nature, all fighting to save the ocean. This is about people who try to make a difference.
Fish is healthy for you, and also a livelihood for many, many people. But it's also a limited resource if it's not managed properly. Well, here on Necker Island, my friends and I, we often discuss the future over a barbecue. And I'm an entrepreneur, and for me, entrepreneurship is about new ideas and about making a difference. We can all make a difference. Your choices in everyday life can actually make the situation for the ocean better.
These tubes, they've come from the MSC staff who've taken the samples all around the world, and they've coded them and labelled them up and given us all the product details to tell us what sample is in that tube. This is part of important work for the future generations. We want to ensure that the oceans are still maintained with life.
I operated my own fishing company in Tonga for 25 years. One of the reasons that I looked to leave is because I was becoming disillusioned with the fishing. Coming back from fishing trips, my family would come down to the wharf and meet me. My son would like to hop on the boat. When he would ask me, when can I go fishing? And I'd say, no, you're not going to go fishing. It's just not sustainable for us or for the fish to be out there. There's too many of us chasing too few fish. So I saw the opportunity to change the situation.
Three years after we opened, one summer I came in and we didn't have bluefin tuna on the menu. And I asked the chefs and they said, oh, we did place the order with the supplier, but they just didn't have any. I then phoned WWF and Greenpeace, and there was this slightly surreal conversation where he was saying to me, well, the bluefin tuna are in real danger. We really shouldn't be eating them. They're really becoming very, very extinct now. And I was going, yeah, I guess that's really bad. So where else can I buy bluefin tuna from? And he was silent for a while. There's this sort of big pregnant pause. And the penny dropped for me. It's like, you can't. And he said, well, it's like eating a rhinoceros. Would you put that on your menu?
Jag, farfar och pappa brukar åka och pimpla ibland på vintern. Jag brukar jämt få den första fisken, men sen får jag inte så mycket mer.
Har du napp eller?
Ja.
Ja, ta upp den då. Bra. Den var för liten, den får gå tillbaks.
Jag tänker på haven och fiskarna. Och när vi fiskar så tar vi aldrig upp de små. I framtiden, om vi fortsätter så här, så tror jag att alla fiskar kommer vara utrotningshotade och vi kanske inte har någon fisk kvar i havet och föroreningar och så. Men jag hoppas att vi kan lösa det så att det blir fint och bra i havet så att alla kan leva och må bra.
Ska vi se. Fisk skulle vi ha. Här är färdiga fiskgratäng. Vi ska ha vanlig.
Torsk,
Den här märkningen du pratar om.
det är den här.
Okej.
Det är att det är ett hållbart fiske där.
Vi tar filéer. Är det... Vad tar vi?
Overfishing is a big threat to life in the ocean. But is it possible to eat fish and still improve the situation? Well, as consumers, we have power, plenty of power, by making choices. Sustainable fishing can go on forever without exhausting stocks. And there are several eco-labels that can help us choose sustainably caught fish. MSC is one of them, and they are certifying more and more fisheries.
My name is Bill Holden. I'm the Pacific Fisheries Manager with the Marine Stewardship Council. I'm on my way to Majuro in the Marshall Islands. This region is very important for tuna fishing, as almost half of the global tuna catch is caught in the Western and Central Pacific Ocean. He's not here. Okay. Is Jin downstairs? Okay, I'll walk downstairs here. Okay. So a lot of my outreach work involves going out and working with long line companies, purse seine companies, pole line companies in the Pacific Islands, in the Southeast Asia region, as well as in Australia and New Zealand. Hey, is Jin here? Okay, thank you. I visit them, I tell them about our program, about how they can be assessed to our standard.
Hey, Jen. Hi. How are you? Sorry to interrupt your call. I'm good. How are you? Just here to just talk to you about your fishing operation. And I see you're unloading the catch right now. Is this the last boat? Last one.
The market for tuna is huge, and I know that the retailers and consumers want sustainable tuna sources. If the consumers did not have a concern about the sustainability of the world's oceans, then the fishermen might take an easier route.
Okay, all right, thank you.
The importance of the fisheries in the MSC program can't be understated because it's all about them. And we're only a standard for sustainable fishing practices. So it's the fishermen, the fishing communities that are really the ones out there doing the work. We're just recognizing and rewarding them for their sustainable fishing practices.
What's going on here is that we have a carrier vessel in the center. We have a fishing vessel on either side. They've come in after maybe 6 weeks of fishing. They've caught the skipjack. They've frozen it at sea. So all this fish is now being transferred from the fishing vessels to the carrier vessel.
You hear a lot about different species of tuna that are overfished or overfishing is occurring. Skipjack tuna is one of those species which is definitely not in that category. When a fishery is assessed, we looked at the sustainability of the skipjack, but also looked at the fishing method, other species being caught.
That looks like all straight skipjack. Nice, good size too, huh?
Free school.
If you were going to do some sampling, would they just spill out the load on the deck here, or how would you do your sampling?
We'll grab fish from here.
The observers, they're not there to enforce any rules. They're strictly there to write down what they see. They'll identify the type of set, the fishing grounds, the location, and the fishing method that is being employed by the vessel. I see this as a more efficient, more effective use of my life now, helping to ensure that there's a tuna resource for not only my generation, but every generation afterwards.
Sustainable fish products can make a difference. But can we trust the information on the packaging? Today, cutting-edge forensic science can be used to ensure that what we eat is what we think it is.
Okay, so what do we have?
We've got the samples. We've collected just over 200 so far, and we're sending you a list. All people from different regions have collected these and labelled them up. There is Atlantic and Pacific cod, there's hake, there's hoki, pollock.
That looks good, plenty big enough.
fantastic.
Well, we'll get cracking with the testing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The DNA testing is important to the MSC because what we're showing is we're giving assurance in the supply chain and giving assurance that those MSC eco-labelled products relate to the sustainable fisheries. There are times where, say with whitefish products, where myself or someone else buying at a supermarket wouldn't necessarily be able to tell what species they're eating. So there is a risk that somewhere in the supply chain a species could be substituted without the end consumer being aware of it. So by doing these tests, we're actually checking that the system's working.
With species identification, you can be extremely confident in your results. There's usually a clear genetic distance between them, and therefore when you identify something to species level, you can be rock solid in your level of certainty over the identification. When it comes to populations, it's more interesting, so we have to use more advanced techniques. What we're looking at here is a DNA sequence from one of your samples, and you can see a series of peaks in different colours. This kind of work in terms of geographic origin is very new in fisheries, and we've only really been starting to have the ability to do it for the last 2 or 3 years. It's cutting-edge research and transferred into current issues. Then the differences in the code here would tell us whether it was Pacific or Atlantic.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's very good. The MSC has got very low levels of substitution. We've detected 1 or 2 cases in the past 4 years. So I think it's looking fairly good. But it hasn't been absolutely perfect, and therefore it's certainly worth continuing this kind of approach.
If there's an issue found, so what we will do is the certifiers, if they know that there has been a problem in a supply chain, they will investigate that company. So if there is evidence found and MSC has been substituted with non-MSC fish, then that company would lose their certification. They would have it suspended until they had put in place corrective actions. Yeah, I can see that the DNA testing giving that assurance has the positive effect because it gives people the confidence in the eco-label. And by giving people confidence in the eco-label, that can increase the demand and therefore inspire fisheries to join the programme and therefore increase their sustainability.
I'm often asked, how do you create a successful business? Well, what exactly is success? Success for me is whether you've created something that you can be really proud of. And also, don't forget to listen. Some of the best ideas will come from your staff, from your customers, and your business partners, people on the front lines. And of course, in Family Incorporated, it will be your children. They know an awful lot more than you think.
I matsalen har vi alltid MSC-märkt fisk, panerad eller gratäng eller massa olika.
jag skrev dit, eller det var en sak jag tänkte på som vi inte pratade så mycket om, och det är bifångst. Vad är bifångst, Jasmin?
I våras lärde vi oss om hållbart fiske och vad rödlistat fiske innebär och att man ska köpa MSC-märkt fisk.
Okej, vi ska se om vi kan göra en tankekarta här om hållbart fiske. Kan ni hjälpa mig att fylla på vad utfiskning innebär? Emily?
Man ska inte fiska på samma ställe.
Nej, vad kan hända om man fiskar på samma ställe, Hugo?
Att fiskarna tar slut helt enkelt.
Det är ju fisk, man måste ju äta det. För man mår ju inte bra av att äta. Om man inte äter fisk så mår man ju inte så bra. Och om fisken tar slut, då kommer man ju inte må bra alls.
Hiya.
Hi. How are you?
Pretty good.
How are you doing? Good seeing you. How's fishing been? I sat down once next to this lovely fisherman and he said to me, oh, you run a restaurant, okay. Oh, it's a fish restaurant, okay, well, I'll send you some fish. I thought, how is a Cornish fisherman going to send a London restaurant fish? But within a week of getting back, he'd sent a box of this fish. And it was just the first time my chefs had ever seen fish as fresh as this in the UK. So yeah, that was it. We never looked back. What's this specimen?
That's a dogfish skinned off.
Oh, okay, that's a dogfish.
Yeah.
Because we found a really nice recipe for that.
Thank you very much.
What have you got today? Wow, he's huge. What a fantastically handsome fish. The real challenge for the chefs is that they really don't know what they're going to get every day. I mean, those are the dogfish trunks, aren't they?
Yeah.
So what are we going to do with them?
This one is for we need to marinate.
Okay.
One is for mackerel nigiri.
Very exciting. Every day when we open the box, different fish. Every day we need create something.
But it's tough for you, huh?
That's okay. Because we also happy make the nice food for the customer.
People are not driven by, even by price, I think. Price comes into it, but they're really driven by convenience. Chefs much prefer a nice fillet of the same size, same shape, same texture fish, day in, day out, so they can stick it in the fryer and they know exactly how long to fry it for. So it's changing that mentality to say, this is the freshest, best, environmentally friendly, tastiest, often not more expensive fish, actually, curiously enough, option for you, but it's not cod or it's not haddock, but we had that yesterday, and if you come back on Friday, we might have that again. But it's what the sea can give you today. Okay, so this is an invoice from our fishermen down in Cornwall, and this is absolutely how invoices from fishermen should be. He tells you how it's caught, so you can see it's line caught, and then he tells you at the end here, each of these mackerel are from different boats, so you could go back, trace that right back to the boat that it was caught from, and you also know the method it was caught with. MSC is fully traceable, and that's why the MSC is so fantastic. They are doing what everybody should be doing, and actually what the law says you should be doing, but it takes an enterprise like that to actually get it started. Pretty shocking, really.
The MSC is not only working with fishing companies, they're also cooperating with governments. 8 nations in the Pacific have formed an association, the PNA, which was recently certified.
The PNA office contacted me in 2010 about entering the MSC program to certify skipjack purse seine fishery in the PNA waters.
Hey, good morning, Morris.
Hey, hi, Bill. How are you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm well.
You see, we've got plenty of boats in the harbour today, so you're going to see some fish being transferred and graded, and the MSC process.
I've been living in the Western Central Pacific for the past 3 decades, and I know this fishery well. I know a lot of the participants, so I was quite happy to see them certified.
Hey, good morning. I'm Bill. Hey, Wolsey. Good to meet you. Hey.
We got the certification after almost 2 years. I think it was very gratifying to finally receive the certification and the acknowledgement that the fishery was well managed and sustainable. There are 267 purseaners currently working within P&A waters, and of those, about 220 to 240 are going to be participating within the scheme.
Skipjack tuna is predominantly the tuna which is sold in your supermarket shelves as canned tuna. The catch here represents approximately half of the skipjack tuna caught globally. So you can see this is a huge resource which is being managed by the P&A office.
I think the oceans must be maintained sustainably. That's a major exercise, particularly in the modern economy. If we cannot sustain the oceans, then our children do not have a future. And for the Pacific Islands, our forefathers have looked after this region for thousands of years, and now we are the custodians today for the future.
I'm a fish. I love the ocean, everything to do with it. I love surfing, swimming, diving. Any chance I get, I go into the ocean, and I feel free. Things happen unexpected in the ocean, and they're usually good things. So it's been a major part of my life. Sustainable fishing is fishing that can go on forever and ever. It's good for the resource, and it's good for the fishing communities and the fishermen. You can fish indefinitely for the species you want to catch, and at the same time, you have a minimal impact on the environment. I'm very positive about the future of the oceans.
Fish stocks that are sustainably managed can be rebuilt, so it is actually possible to make a difference. I'm a member of a senior advisory group, the Ocean Elders. We believe that knowledge is the key to change.
When I was a kid, I didn't know. I didn't know I was taking too many of the octopus from the ocean. I can go back where I was taking them. They're not there anymore.
I believe that ocean awareness has to start at the various early part of a person's education. It has to be cultural, ingrained in a culture. How do you ingrain something in a culture? You start with kindergarten.
Det ser redan gott ut.
Ja.
Om jag drömmer om framtiden så drömmer jag nog att det ska bli jättebra i haven, att det inte ska vara någon förorening, något skräp, att alla fiskar ska må bra och man ska ha tillgång till fisk. Jag tycker att det är alla människors ansvar, men tillsammans om man är liten kan man ju hjälpa till i familjen och så.
Men fick störst idag då? Det farfar eller?
Nej, det var jag. Den första är den största.
Remember that all life once came from the sea. The ocean is our past, it's our present, and it's our future. We all depend on it. Anyway, I just want to say thanks for watching. Enjoy your life and enjoy your planet. You only have one.